This video is about conjunctions and will focus on subordinating conjunctions. What are subordinating conjunctions? Subordinating conjunctions are words that join together one independent clause and one dependent clause. They all have a comma before them, and then they change the word order. If your subordinating conjunction is in the middle, the conjugated verb in that clause goes at the end of the sentence. If the conjunction is at the beginning of the sentence, then you get a verb sandwich in the middle. The subordinating conjunctions, or subordinierende Konjunktionen, are als, bevor, bis, das, damit, ob, obwohl, seit, sobald, sofern, soweit, sowie, während, weil, wenn, wer, wie, and wo. You may have noticed all question words can also work as subordinating conjunctions. For example, I don't know who that is. Ich weiß nicht, wer das ist. Here we have a subordinating conjunction in the middle, so we kicked the conjugated verb to the end. Let's look at a few examples. Kommt if hat Zeit. We're going to have the subordinating conjunction in the middle. So think about, what do you need to do? What gets kicked and where? Your answer, kommt, wenn Zeit hat. This means he is coming if he has time. We have our subordinating conjunction in the middle, and that kicks our conjugated verb to the end. Next we have if hat Zeit, kommt. This time we are starting with a subordinating conjunction, and our answer is wenn Zeit hat, kommt er. If he has time, he is coming. Note, when you start with a subordinating conjunction, you kick the verb in that clause to the end of the clause, like hat, then you have a comma, and the verb from the second clause comes up to greet it. I call this a verb sandwich. To me, this means that the verbs like hat and kommt are bread, and the cheese of your sandwich is that comma, a verb sandwich, right in the middle of your sentence. We have some more practice. Here are our subordinating conjunctions. So remember the rules. If your subordinating conjunction is in the middle, the conjugated verb in that clause goes at the end of the sentence. We have number 1, die Kinder machen Hausaufgabe, bevor sie dürfen spielen. Before is our conjunction. Look at which one before might be. Also, the conjugated verb in that clause goes at the end of the sentence. What is the conjugated verb in this sentence here? What place does the conjugated verb always need to be in? You should be saying second. There are 2 verbs in this sentence, but the conjugated verb is the one that's in the second place, where conjugated verbs go. We're going to put that at the end of the sentence, because that's the rule. Your answer will be, die Kinder machen Hausaufgabe, bevor sie spielen dürfen, which means the children do homework before they may play. Our second example is, sagt that arbeitet morgen. Again, our subordinating conjunction is in the middle. So, which one is that? You should see it. Then we have, in this sentence, what is our conjugated verb? Right, arbeitet. So we're going to kick that to the end and get, sagt, dass morgen arbeitet. This means he says that he works tomorrow. This is our first rule. Our second rule is, if the conjunction is at the beginning of the sentence, then you get a verb sandwich in the middle. Our first sentence is, although ich bin krank, ich arbeite. So how do you say although? Look at your chart. If we start with a subordinating conjunction, we get a verb sandwich in the middle. So our verb in our first sentence is bin. In the second sentence is arbeite. So we're going to have, obwohl ich krank bin, arbeite ich. Our verb sandwich is bin, comma, arbeite. The bread is the verbs bin and arbeite, and the comma is the cheese. Although I am sick, I am working. Number 2. Since wir haben Deutsch gelernt, wir können mit deutschen Touristen sprechen. We start with our subordinating conjunction since, so check out the chart to find your word. Then, if you start with a subordinating conjunction, you're going to get a verb sandwich in the middle. What's our conjugated verb in the first sentence? Remember, they're always in the second place. What's our conjugated verb in the second sentence? So you should have, seit wir Deutsch gelernt haben, können wir mit deutschen Touristen sprechen. This means, since we learned German, we can speak with German tourists. You've gotten to try out a few examples. Here is your chart in case you forget any of the subordinating conjunctions. Join the following sentences with the correct conjunction. Be careful, sometimes we start with a subordinating conjunction and sometimes we have one in the middle. Pause the video now to try these on your own. You should have, als ich 10 Jahre alt war, reiste meine Familie nach London. There are a lot of different words for when, but als is the when that is one time in the past. Because we started with a subordinating conjunction, we get a verb sandwich in the middle. Number 2. Ich weiß nicht, ob wir eine Prüfung haben. Ob is our subordinating conjunction, and it's in the middle, so we kicked our verb haben to the end. Number 3. Wenn es regnet, gehen die Studenten nicht wandern. We started with our subordinating conjunction wenn and got our verb sandwich in the middle, regnet, comma, gehen. Number 4. Du studierst Mathe, damit du Lehrer werden kannst. We had our subordinating conjunction in the middle, damit. That meant that we kicked the verb in our second clause to the end, kannst. Number 5. Steffi arbeitet bei Starbucks, seit sie in Springfield wohnt. We should have a comma right after Starbucks. So, since is our subordinating conjunction, and the verb wohnt gets kicked to the end. And our last example. Weil Sean jetzt nicht kommen kann, gehen wir später ins Kino. We started with weil, our subordinating conjunction, and that means that we'll get a verb sandwich in the middle, which is kann, comma, gehen.